Hello guys, welcome back. In the last lecture, we implemented the connections stimulus controller for sending the connection request as post request, but we were getting the error when user clicked on the connect link. Okay, because we have not implemented the rails controller to handle the request. Now in this lecture we will fix this error by creating a new controller, and we will name it as connections controller. Okay, since we already defined the connections resources in the routes.rb, so now we can directly create the controller. Okay, so go to the project directory, and in the app controllers we need to create a new controller file and name it as connections. Okay, so save this file, new file as connections controller.rb. Okay, so this will create a new controller file for us, and now we need to implement the controller class first. So class connections controller, and inherit it via application controller, and the end of line file. Okay, since only signed in users can perform this action, or I mean only signed in users can send the connection request or accept the connection request, or perform any kind of operation on that. So we need to add the device callback as before action filter to enforce the authentication to user. Okay, so first what we need to do here, before action authenticate user. Okay, now let's implement the create action. Def create, and in this create action, first let's initialize the connection instance. So connection equal to current user dot connections, connections dot new, then connection params. Okay, we will define this connection params after finishing the implementation of this create action. Okay, now let's define the connector instance. Okay, so at the rate connector equal to user dot find, and then connection params, and here we need to provide the connected user id. Okay, now we need to handle the request if connection is saved successfully in the database. So we need to use respond to block here, respond to do, and then format. And in this form respond to block, first we need to check if at the rate connection save, if at the rate connection dot save. Okay, and then if it is save, what we need to do, we need to do format dot turbo stream, format dot turbo stream, and then here render. First let's make the word wrap. Okay, and then we can use turbo stream, sorry, remove the colon, then the turbo stream, then turbo stream dot replace, replace. Okay, if you remember in the last lecture, we in the previous lecture we defined an id to the dom here in the member personal detail parcel, that is user connection status. Okay, so we need to replace this content, that is the uh, id of this dom element. Okay, so we need to use this into our rails controller, so we will provide it here, that is user connection status. Okay, and then we need to render a partial after creating a connection successfully. So partial, and then what we can do here, connections, and then we will create a partial about within the connections directory in the app view. So create. Okay, and then we need to pass locals, and pass the locals as connector, and we will now use this at the rate connector instance. Okay, so what we can do here, at the rate connector. Okay, so this is the implementation of create action for ours. Okay, now let's define this connection params method as a private method in this controller. Okay, so let's add the private block, and here we need to define this method, def connection params, and now we need to permit the required attributes here. Okay, so what we can do here, params dot require connection. Okay, and then permit. Then what attributes we need to permit? First is user ID, then connected user ID, and then status. Okay, so our connection controller has been done now. Okay, so now save the controller file. Okay, and now as the last thing, we need to create the partial to render in response if connection saved successfully. Okay, here you can see that we name our partial as create. Okay, so first we need to create a new directory inside the app views. Okay, and name this directory as connections. Okay, and in this connections we need to create our partial, that is connection. Okay, so just save it, sorry, name it as create.html dot erb. Okay, and now we need to write some html into this partial so that whenever a connection gets successfully, so the dom will be replaced by this updated html. Okay, so what we can do here, we can first add a button element. So button, first a type here, then add class, btn primary. Okay, and then what we can do here, since initially the button connection will be in pending state, so we can simply write pending here. Okay, and then add the br tag, and after this br tag we need to display some text as well. Okay, however if you wish you can remove it, but I'm adding this text. Okay, so class, and then we can add class here like text muted. Okay, and then what message we can display here after creating the connection, so your has been sent, but it is in pending state. You will get connected once, and then we will display the connected name, like when the username will accept their connection request. Okay, so you will get connected once, so add a span tag here and add class fw bold and close this span tag, and here we will display at the rate connected dot name, sorry, the connected dot name, connected dot name. Okay, and then after this span tag we can finish our text, that is will accept your connection request. Okay, save this, and after this small tag add another br tag. Okay, so here you can save it. Okay, and that's it. Now we have everything ready to handle this create connection request. Okay, so switch to the browser and refresh the page. So here first come to the browser, refresh the page, make your server is running, and now make some space into the terminal as well. Okay, and now let's click on the connect link. Here you can see, if you click on the connect link, then right after clicking on the connect link, here you can see that it is showing the pending state, and your connection request has been sent, but it is in the pending state. You will get connected once mac whatever it's the pronounce is will accept your connection request. Okay, that means that whenever this user accept this connection request, this will be get accepted or rejected or whatever it is, based upon the operation the mac will perform on this connection request. Okay, and you can also see the same thing on the terminal as well, that when you clicked on the connect button, you can see that a request is coming to the connections controller, create a turbo stream. Okay, and this is the connections params. So connections user id 1000, connected user id 1, status as pending. Okay, and a new connection record has been inserted into the database. Okay, and our template has been rendered using the turbo stream. Okay, so here you can see that our connect button is working. Now if you uh, want to try this with another user, you can do that as well. So for example, let's open a new user profile. So come to the root page, and here you can click on this user. For example, here you can see that it is still showing the connect. So when you click on this connect button, now you will see that this user also get connected with that, but the connection state is in pending right now, and a new connection has been created and saved into the database. Okay, but we have only one issue left here. Okay, because since our connection is getting worked and saved into the database successfully, but still we have one issue. For example, if you refresh the page now, you will not see anything here, and if you refresh this page now, you will again not see anything here. Why? Because if you can see the condition in the member details partial, that what we are doing here, if user is signed in and current user dot check if already connected method. Okay, so this method is returning false. Why? Because the connection has been created, however it is in pending state, but still the connection is saved into the database. So user cannot see the connect button for these profiles now. Okay, so what we need to do here now, that we need to change this condition, and we need to separate out these conditions and add some else parts as well. Okay, so whenever you refresh the page, you will still see the connection status on the browser, whether it is connected, pending, or rejected, or deleted. Okay, so we will do that in the next lecture. Okay, for now, try this lecture at your end and try to create the connection controller and save the records into the database, and also try to look at this stimulus controller as well and try to understand the functionality. Okay, and if you have any doubt, let me know through the comment section. So thanks for watching this, and try this lecture at your end. We will meet into the next lecture. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care, and stay safe.